needs it, you know?
Sound is very quiet.
This is when we, you know, have to really keep our ears out as we figure out how to get into this. Alright, I have Clean Fleet playing, so when we're ready. Just, yeah, make sure we get everything set up as well as we can. We're really jumping in. And okay. Looks like we are going to be jumping into game number 1 of Cure versus Creator. And I guess, yeah, I guess we can't really do the player intros at this point. But, yeah, we're just going to jump straight into it then. We do see a pretty standard gate core build coming out from Creator. Meanwhile, Cure is going for a pretty standard Reaper expand. Well, I say pretty standard, but recently I think a lot of Terran players have been going for factory expands and more Hellion stuff in the TvP matchup.
Yes.
So it will be... Yes. Exactly, yes. This is the forte.
So Yaku, if
Yes.
you can, keep an eye on the in-game chat so we don't miss the next loop. Please and
Yep.
thank.
Yes. I have my 2 eyes spread out. I have one eye on one monitor and one eye on the other one.
That's not what I asked, but okay.
What?
Sure.
Yes.
I did not ask you to spread your eyes to get... What is it called in English? It's not... I guess it's cross-eyed, right?
Cross-eyed?
Yeah. What is it called
Oh,
when
yeah,
you...
cross-eyed is the other. Cross-eyed is the other way.
Yeah,
around,
but
where it's like
what is it called when it's the other
towards
way?
each other. The other way.
Because in Polish it's the same word. You just add like an adjective to it.
I don't think there's a word for it in English. I think it's... Yeah, because cross-eyed is specifically when you're looking at each other, when you're pointing the eyes at each other.
Yeah. But yeah, like in Polish it's the same word, but it's just with an adjective.
Spread eyes? Question mark? Kinda.
Oh.
I guess reverse cross eyes is the answer to that, as we do see Creator going for Blink build, and this is what, we're not seeing it right now, but and I guess we don't see it that often in PvT, but what has really impressed me about Creator recently is his unpredictability when it comes to his builds, where he'll go for styles that seem to be pretty standard, but when you take a closer look at the build order, at the timings, you start to think, wait a minute, this looks very inefficient. Yet somehow it's able to catch his opponents off guard as he goes for a bit of a proxy pylon, as he goes for 4-gate blink. A classic 4-gate blink in PvT, but unfortunately Cure is coming in with a medevac full of Marines.
Very nice
Stalkers
micro from Creator, though. He did not lose any stalkers in this attack, and he was able to fend off the drop from Cure.
Yeah, doesn't lose any of his probes either, surprisingly. This is not a 4-gate blink.
No.
Hello, Creator.
This is what, 6 gates?
6 or 7, yeah, at this point. This is a hyper-committed build coming out from Creator. Hyper-committed, hyper-aggressive, and he's just looking to end it.
Yeah.
Looking to end it as quickly as possible.
I mean, makes sense to be aggressive. I mean, you know, it's been, like, this tournament has been going on for a few hours, so maybe it's time to get some quicker games, so to not like lose too much energy before the finals, because there are still finals there. So, you know, may as well try to end the game quickly.
Yeah, I think we're approaching 11 p.m. over in Korea, so, you know, 'tis a Wednesday.
And
Creator's gotta
Creator,
wake up early
Creator
tomorrow. He can't
just
stay on
blinks
too
in,
long.
snipes the tank. Almost, he could snipe the Draven, but it is being saved. And now with the second tank, the Stalkers will be damaged and they will have to move back.
Yeah, one tank is something that you can definitely try to contend with using Stalkers, but two tanks is a little bit much. So I like that Creator is incorporating a couple of Zealots into the mix. Not Chargelets, unfortunately, so they're not going to be as effective. They're not really going to be able to pounce on top of these tanks, but what it can do is force a little bit of friendly fire on top of these SCVs. Cure, it says he's lost 13 SCVs, but because it doesn't count friendly fire, I think it's actually more like 15 or 16.
Doesn't it count friendly fire? I guess it doesn't. And once again, the Creator moves in, tries to snipe the tank, but doesn't quite finish. Oh, he does finish it. And once again, he's contesting this army. There are no more tanks here for Cure. There is still the Draven, but now the Stalkers can actually deal damage.
It definitely looked a little bit dangerous there for Creator when the auto turret got thrown down and when there were all these Marines being protected by SCVs, but he was able to retreat to a better position and just starve out Cure, honestly. He's just making sure that Cure can never land this base, for starters, and also never mine from it.
Yeah, so the natural will be completely taken over by Creator. And, I mean, Cure is trying to master defense. Once again, a blink in. He does snipe one tank. The other tank is still on the high ground, though, so he will be dishing a lot of damage. But Creator...
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah, he jumps back. He just jumps right on top of the other tank, and Cure is out of army.
That did not look like it. That did not look like it should have worked out for Creator over there, sending all of his units into that choke point when there was a tank available. But yeah, I guess Creator just had the numbers on his side. He was able to blink up. He will eventually get cleaned out by SCVs. That's funny to think about. This army will get cleaned out by SCVs, but the damage has already been done, and Creator's continuing to push on forward. He knows that there's no way that he knows that if he gives Cure time, he'll be able to get a tank out, he'll be able to get more units out to maybe defend pretty well. That is what Terran does best. So he doesn't want to give him that time. GG is called, and Creator takes a very aggressive, very quick game number 1 as we get into our lobby.
Nice. Okay, so now I can close this.
Yep.
Panic.
Yep.
Breathe a little.
All worked out. It all worked out. I'm liking the suggestions here from chat about what the word should be called when you spread your eyes out. Wall-eyed? I think I've heard of wall-eyed before. I think I've heard that before. Spread-eyed. Spread eyes makes the most sense, but I think the term is wall-eyed. Thank you to Carpe Tenebra for that. Because walleye is like a fish, or the name of a fish.
By the way, speaking of the
No,
chat,
actually.
we did miss some bits from Blakerdews.
Oh, we did, didn't we? Thank you very much, Blakerdews, for those bits. Oracles bring the party like the disco balls. Hell yeah, my man. Blakerdews knows what's up. As we jump on into game number 2 now of our best of 3 semifinals. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Protoss player coming out from the land of Korea. He is going to be representing Abydos as well as Team NV, apparently. We have Creator. Meanwhile,
Yaku, I will need you
yes.
to share for me.
Yes, I'll be streaming. I will be streaming in game as over on the go live. Yep. over on the other side of the map, as I hope Discord doesn't like to. On the other side of the map, we have our blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea as well. He is going to be representing Team Abydos as well as Team NV in-game as well. Tis a double team kill here, if you can believe that. We have Cure. As now we're getting to game. Creator being a little bit cheeky with his pro, but will force a little bit of loss buying time from Cure, but it's not the biggest of deals here. He is able to force a Zelda out from Creator though, which is interesting.
I would say this stream has like the most random technical difficulties I've had in a stream so far.
Get your bingo cards ready, you know? It's like, what? Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but just randomly, like, StarCraft decided that I don't deserve internet. Just...
Yeah? Well, look, it's not just you, you know? Wardy has just left. Of course, Light has lost internet privileges a couple of days ago for some reason. Everybody's internet's going down. I'm counting. I'm fear for my life right now. You know. All of a sudden, I'm just gonna cut out. The internet's gonna go down, and I'll actually be forced to go outside. But for now, we do see slightly more standard things coming out from our players. Cure.
How is it possible that both me and Wardy got bad connection?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's just something in the Ethernet cables today. But yeah, we are seeing some.
Yeah, cool.
I was about to say normal stuff coming out from Creator, but that is a Dark Trine. Yes.
Do you want to stream? As in, do you want to observe?
I can observe. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, I mean, we do have clean feed.
There is the clean feed. We do have clean feed.
But I guess this way we don't have to synchronize, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Just the frames are not ideal.
Oh, I didn't consider that. But yeah, we're fine for the time being, you know.
Yeah, we work with what we have.
Try to get it. Yeah. I'll try to get it sorted for the next time. And anyway, Cure, of course, hasn't been able to scout this Dark Shrine. That's going to be a massive surprise coming in for him, but thankfully Cure, he's doing the standard Terran thing of getting a Raven out anyway. You don't need it just for detection. It's also just an overall really good utility unit in the matchup, so you might as well get a Raven. And you know what? When you need detection, it's there. It'll give you detection. Creator now setting up his... Ooh, a little bit of miscontrol coming out from Creator, missing one of his warp-ins. The Raven is not out yet. I'm liking this for Creator. He is splitting out his DT, so Cure's gonna be taking damage one way or another. The Raven is able to coordinate. Very quick reaction here from Cure. He is able to deflect this attack from Creator, only losing 2 SCVs.
Yes.
Oh, even gets a little bit of damage with that Widowmine. I'm assuming that killed a DT.
Yeah, probably.
Creator now doing...
No, yeah, okay, you can solo cast this one. That's fine.
Yes, okay. Creator now doing the standard Protoss thing when the DTs get scouted, transitioning out into an Archon drop, but Cure, of course, he anticipates that, and he does have his Cyclone on the way. His Warp Prism is really badly bruised. Creator is going to have to be very, very careful about harassing if he does decide to continue to harass, which isn't his only option right now. He is opting for a third base. He is sending out a couple of units, a couple of gateway units across the map to try to make sure that Kuro is unable to get a third base of his own. But more importantly, it's also going to allow him to scout the move out here from Kuro. I think Creator has gotten a little bit of a whiff of what Kuro's build order is. 'Twas a 1-1-1 into a 3 racks, and he did see the upgrades being researched on Tech Lab, so he knows this is going to be a very powerful 1-1 bio timing. Meanwhile, back at home, Widow Mines did land, and it looks like one of them did go off on a handful of probes, but thankfully Creator was able to react in time, was able to chase that away. Maybe it was a bit of an overreaction, recalling those units, but better safe than sorry, am I right? As this is going on, Kuro is taking this opportunity to scout ahead with one of his Marines. He's also, just trying to set up for his eventual push. Creator trying to do the same thing as he did earlier on, just trying to contain Kuro for as long as possible, but I think at this point he knows that if he keeps this small force of units in the middle of the map, he's just asking to waste an Archon and an Immortal and these very high-tech units. So he's instead going back home, going to try to defend the push as well as he can. We see a very, very important anti-armor missile getting thrown down, but an even better force field, an even better wall of force fields here from Creator. Kuro unable to really take advantage of the fact that these units have no armor on them whatsoever. He has to wait them out. It just work out pretty well for him. Interference Matrix gets thrown down. Archon is completely out of commission, and this is a very powerful wave of Terran hitting Creator right smack in the face. Even throws out a couple of auto turrets to make sure that he gets as much DPS as possible, and Creator doesn't seem to have an answer to this. He doesn't have static defense he can fall back to anymore. He's lost his high-tech units in his Archon and his Immortal. GG is called, and Kuro will tie up our semifinals sideways. We'll go into an ace match.
We are. As I figure out how to go back
into game, yeah.
into everything, as the cameras are now in the wrong places. I am in the chat channel, so should be there.
Yeah. We're getting that bingo. We're nailing that bingo. But yeah, really, again, these are kind of the games that I like seeing from Creator. The games where he doesn't play standard, where he does just kind of throw out builds that are meant to, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're meant to catch his opponents off guard, but they have a lot of potential to do that. It's just more of a way of making sure that he has a solid lead at the start of the game. At the start of the map, as the game continues to progress. Unfortunately for him, he was up against Kuro, who more often than not goes for the most solid, the most safe, but also strong builds in TvP at least, but also he also does this kind of thing a lot in TvZ. So Kuro had a lot of potential and had a lot of ability to very quickly react to whatever he saw from Creator. Again, he didn't scout the Dark Trend at all, but because he was going for a Raven anyway, he was able to defend against the initial attack of Creator and the snowball momentum from there. Creator really wanted to make sure that Kuro never got a third base, but Kuro never wanted to get a third base anyway. It was all about that 1-1 bio timing for Kuro, and yeah, if Creator knew about that, had better defenses, maybe we would still be in that game. But alas, it has concluded, and we are going to be I think they started without us again.
There was no lobby. I was in the channel.
There was no lobby. There was no lobby. Yeah.
Okay, I'm firing up the clean
Alright.
feed.
I guess we're casting from the clean feed. Yep.
I mean, to be fair, we probably should, since all the series are now on the clean feed. So.
Yeah, I guess we might as well. Yeah. I guess we might as well.
Hold on. Let me sound game. Oh, everything is wrong. Oh, everything is so wrong. Don't look at it. Perfect. Nothing happened.
I'm just looking at the clean feed. Well, this is going down. But anyway, yes.
No, go on.
Yes. We're getting into game. This is our ace match. The final map in this best of 3 semifinals to determine which of our players is going to be our first finalist for tonight's KungFu Cup. Is it going to be our blue Terran player representing Abydos as well as Team NV all the way from Korea in Kure? Or is it going to be our red Protoss player representing Abydos as well as Team NV from from Korea as well, Creator? We're about to find out. It's all gonna come down to Gresvan, which instinct tells me is more of a Terran favorite map, but you never know. You never really know, do you? Well, I never really know. Gotta be honest. There might be some people who know.
Yes, what he said.
Yes.
As I might have been not exactly listening.
Yes.
But we are
That's most people.
indeed on Gresvan. In this 1-1 situation, we had Creator being aggressive in game 1, we had Kure being aggressive in game 2, right?
Yeah, Kure was definitely being aggressive, and I think he was planning to be aggressive regardless of what Creator threw his way. I think Kure was planning to go for that 2 base 1-1 timing no matter what, but Creator did try to pull a few shenanigans off with DTs. It didn't really work for him, but he tried to be aggressive.
And we'll see who's gonna take the initiative in this game, because so far both players are fairly passive.
Yeah. No proxy gates coming out from Creator this time. No early warp prisms. It is, in fact, going to be a fairly standard Stargate opening coming out from our red Protoss player. Love that SimCity there. Able to trap the Reaper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really nice whenever you manage to do that. And it looks like Creator actually going for Phoenixes.
Interesting. So not something too out of the ordinary. I feel like Phoenixes have always had a place in PvT. They're really good crowd control units. If you know your opponent's going for tanks, if they can go across the map uncontested, they can really start to pick off SCVs. But we haven't been seeing them as often as we've been seeing Oracles lately.
Yeah, definitely Oracles have been the more popular choice, but I guess Phoenixes also have their place, and maybe that Phoenix will be able to snipe that Raven that is coming from Kure.
Oh, it's that situation again, isn't it? It's that I'm just gonna build this one air-to-air unit just to make sure you never come into my base. It's the equivalent of making one Viking as a Terran player and like one Corruptor as a Zerg player, or I guess one Corruptor is a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, I feel like a Corruptor is much more invested, but
yeah.
Hey.
But for now, passivity is the name of the game. Creator scouts across the map with his Phoenixes. He takes note that, yep, this is another bio build coming up from Kure. I need to be able to defend this, which is why I really appreciate that Creator didn't just mono battle with his Phoenixes. He stopped at after 3. He built his Robo facility, and now he has enough resources to get a Robo Bay for a Colossus. It's really the anti-marine unit, the anti-bio push unit, honestly, overall.
No, yeah, it definitely will work well against Bio, and that is for what Kuro is going for with that Steam and Combat Shield on the way. So it may work out pretty well for Creator as long as he has units in time.
I'm a little bit concerned for Cure that he hasn't really gotten any factory units out yet. No tanks or anything. It's just Marine, Marauder, Medevac. I guess he can try to pump out a couple of Widow Mines now with that reactor, but they're not going to have Tunneling Claws. They're not really going to do too much in the... they're not really going to do too much in the push, and that means that Cure won't have a foothold or won't have a point, an anchor point that he can fall back to if he needs to. It's all or nothing for Cure, pretty much. He needs to land these disables, or maybe an anti-armor missile, or he just needs to double down on the DPS. Because yeah, if he goes for a push, he has to kill that third or he's dead. Meanwhile, Creator setting up a little bit of a spotter pylon, it seems. I say that because I'm really hoping it's not another proxy. What am I saying? I am hoping it's another proxy.
I mean...
I want to see a counter proxy come out from Creator. It's just... Yeah, I don't think he's going to do it at this point in the game.
No, I mean, especially by the position of these pylons, they do look like spotter pylons on both sides of the map. They are probably for the drops or potential Raven harassment. In the meantime, these Phoenixes are trying to see what they can. They're basically used as a scouting force.
Yeah, the primary objective is to be a scouting force, to make sure that Creator knows exactly what's going on, what Cure is planning for, but on the plus side, it's also keeping the army back. +1 weapons finished up for Cure a while ago, but he hasn't really been able to push out because he was distracted with all of those Phoenixes. But the push is on the way. There's no stopping it now. The Cure train is coming down. Creator spots this with that spotter probe and needs to get in position. Setting a Zealot across the map to make sure that there isn't a third base. And this is Creator knowing for sure that this is an all-in coming out from Cure. This is a 2-base all-in coming out from Cure. Brilliant interference matrices, taking 2 of these Colossus out of commission, but really good graviton lifts as well, making sure that these Marauders can't really get their damage in on top of these armored units. Every single Colossus survives, surprisingly. And Cure, forced to build a third base, forced to go back to the drawing board. He didn't want to expand, but he has to at this point to keep up with the rest of this game. And Creator's sitting in a very comfortable position. He's setting up his 4th base right now. He is just continuing to tech up. He's researching charge, because that's why the hell not. I mean, charges are definitely going to be helpful as this game continues, but it's also just a testament to how rich Creator is at this stage of the game. How uncontested his economy has been. He's even just going for a little bit of a counterattack. I'm not sure what he's hoping to achieve here with only 3 Colossus and not much of a buffer, but I guess it does distract the main army of Cure a little bit. He's sneaking into that main base with Zealots. They are slow lots for the time being. Here's that one Viking. Always the MVP, but Creator does have a recall! The Warp Prism will go down with 3 Zealots in it. Creator does get a little bit of damage across the map, so that's a little bit of a consolation, but yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate to lose that Warp Prism at that stage of the game.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Creator there. So, as I keep doing the wrong... But... yeah, now Cure is about to race to the other side of the map. There are still those Colossi there, but I mean, it all depends how Creator manages this. He fortunately has a good vision on the map with the spotter pylons as well as the assassinations. Oh, the Raven does go down.
Yeah, anti-armor missile was able to land before it went down, but losing the Raven hurts, man. It is such an important utility unit. Cure's not going to have any disables, not going to have any more anti-armor missiles, any auto turrets from here on out. And more importantly, he wasn't even able to take advantage of that earlier anti-armor missile. That's a very good EMP on top of those sentries, taking out the shields of a lot of these units as well. But this is only half of Creator's army. Meanwhile, on the other side, Creator is trying to go for a couple of run-bys, but they will get caught by some of the reinforcements of Cure. At the very least, it gives Creator eyes on the army of Cure. Yeah, it does keep the reinforcements back at home. You can really tell that Cure, he's well aware that he needs to deal damage somewhere, somehow. He needs to take another base, which he's in the process of doing right now, but he also needs to make sure that Creator takes some damage somewhere. Nice little micro trick you can do there if you know that that's where a mine is borrowed. Just friendly fire a unit of yours with your Colossus. Anyway, the third or fourth wave is coming down right now, and I gotta say, Cure's army is looking very scary. He's got a lot of ghosts and a lot of Vikings. These Colossus are in a lot of trouble. Creator is doing whatever he can to keep them alive. He finally pops the battery overcharge just when it's needed most, and he is able to chase one of these armies back. Meanwhile, he is going for a run-by on the other side of the map. A lot of SCVs are going down. Cure did cancel this fifth base of Creator. Very nicely done here, but in the end, I do think that Creator made it out of this engagement a little bit better. I mean, he should have canceled that Nexus. I believe it was a cancel instead of a kill, and he's ahead 20 workers. He has so much more economy his way. Just look at the gas income, really.
Yeah, the Zealot run by really did a lot there, clearing the entire mineral line of SCVs, and now, I mean, Creator is building up. He has the Dark Shine on the way as well, so that will definitely be helpful for all these harassment. And these pylons are actually used for warpings.
Yeah. They can spot, they can warp. What can't these pylons do?
Move.
Yeah, well, we're gonna talk about that.
Ooh, the Phoenixes all go down, and the warpings that have as well with these Widow Mine shots.
Yeah, not bad damage at all here for Cure. Of course, you could argue that we are getting into a stage of the game where maybe the Protoss player wants to clear up a bit of supply to get other units. You know, Phoenixes don't scale that well in a PvT, but you want to at least clear up that supply doing something and not just losing them for free to Widow Mines.
Yeah, once again, that base is cancelled for Creator.
Ooh!
Ooh, but the DTs are now walking straight into the army, and they will be able to take some of it down, maybe even the ghosts.
Yeah, that's a really, really good idea at this point for Creator. Just take out some of these ghosts, make sure that these EMPs don't land on the Protoss army.
That was a bit of a misclick.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Yeah, I didn't even notice this, but both of our players are now maxed out, and it's really a battle of who can split up their army more effectively at this point. Cure is going for these multi-prong harasses, and it's up to Creator to be able to meet them. At the same time, Cure also wants a counterattack, so... You know, unfortunately for him, he doesn't have the most mobile army compared to Cure. He does have recall available, but recall will leave his army vulnerable for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, it looks like Cure has enough here at the top of the map to defend from Creator's attack, but at the same time, DTs are getting straight into the bases.
Yeah, it's a distraction game right now for Creator. How well can he distract Cure's army so that he can seek in 1 or 2 DTs to really wreak havoc and really displace his economy? Well, not that well if these EMPs are anything to go off of. Cure, his eyes are open. He sees all. He sees even the detected units.
Yeah, but this army will now get surrounded slightly by Creator as he comes from behind, and he will be able to trap this army here, although the EMP does land.
EMP does land, and Cure is able to get that full surround on top of that army. A couple of very costly losses here for Creator, losing a Colossus, losing a Disruptor or 2. once again trying to go for run buys, but at this point I think Cure has recognized that Creator just wants to send unit, zealot after zealot after zealot after him, so he is making sure that he has a couple of defenses back home.
Yeah, now this Bio army is once again threatening this base. There are disruptors to defend, but that's pretty much all there's there. There are a few Colossi now as well. But now Cure is starting some multi-prong attacks and Creator has to split his army.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, Kuro, I'm not sure he can at this point. We're getting to a bit of a split map scenario here in this TvP. And on a map like Gresven, getting into a split map scenario means that your bases are just so isolated from one another.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, Creator has to decide which army to split. He does have these DTs, but they get EMP'd, so they can't quite participate here. Meanwhile, the Stalkers meet the main army of Cure in the middle.
How does that copy pasta go, Kuro? Where you need ghosts to counter, you know?
Yeah.
The thingy, you need ghosts to counter other ghosts, you know?
Yeah.
I think Cure has kind of took that to heart a little bit, as that... Yeah, he has something like 12 ghosts.
I mean...
It's mass ghosts coming out from him.
He is landing those EMPs.
Yeah. Can't fault him for that. You know, landing the EMPs essentially gives you free damage. You know, a little bit of a skirmish outside of this 7th base location. I was gotta say, you know, poor Creator. He just wants to get a 7th base, and he's not getting it. And then the minute I said that, I'm like, wait a minute, 7 base? I don't even go up to 7 bases in most of my games. Yeah, but clearly Creator has a very different plan than I do, and it really does involve making sure that he has as healthy of an economy as possible. Cure's doing everything he can to prevent that. That was a very juicy Purification Nova, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. Cure did kill the base in the northeast side of the map, and he is continuing to push on through. Creator finally will push that back, but it did cost him a lot. And now we're finally getting to a point where Liberators are being thrown into the mix. Ranged Liberators with +3 ship weapons. That usually is the final nail in the coffin for the Protoss player. But we'll see if Creator has an answer to them.
Yeah, he's trying to be slightly aggressive. He's trying to meet the army of Cure in the middle of the map, but I am not sure if he can quite do anything to it, as the EMPs are still landing and he needs those disruptors to deal with the bio.
Yeah, these ghosts are tricky, man. I'm like trying to think of a way for Creator to really deal with them. All I can think of are High Templar with Storms to zone out the army, but it's still a risk going for High Templar versus Ghosts, because if your High Templar get EMP'd, they're useless. They're not going to be doing anything except for attempting to morph into an Archon.
I mean, you don't need energy for an Archon, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Liberators are on the way, so I guess the Stalkers will be nice against them, but at the same time, Cure is constantly denying the spaces for Creator, so he has no way to expand, no way to gain more resources. Meanwhile, Cure is banking already.
He finally is starting to get a bit of a bank. And because he lost his workers earlier on, it means he's able to get a larger army supply. A lot of probes are now falling for Creator, and it looks like the defenses are starting to crack.
Yeah, it does look like it, but there's still enough Protoss to clean up this force, so the battle on this side of the map will be won. But at the same time, once again, the base gets cancelled on the south.
Yeah, now Creator's in a position where he's really starting to starve out minerals, but more importantly, gas. He is very far behind the gas income compared to Cure. And considering how gas-intensive Protoss units are, that's way, way more important. Like, I mean, what can Creator really make? Zealots? What is Zealots going to do against ranged libs?
Yeah, I'm not quite
but
sure.
He is nailing his Purification Novas. Or he was, before these Liberators sieged up.
Ooh, he actually got a lot of goals with one of them, but as you said, there are these Liberators, and he's dancing his army right under the Freedom Zones. There are no Stalkers left, only 2 of them, and the Immortals cannot do anything with this.
Yeah, it feels like Creator tunnel visioned a little bit over there. He got those... When he got those Purification Overs off, that was fantastic. That was brilliant, but he... understandably didn't quite recognize the danger that all of these Liberators pose. GG is called, and Cure is able to edge out that series 2-1, making him our first semifinalist of the evening. Whew. And that was semifinals number 1.